Hi Scorpio, welcome to your reading for September 2024. So how are you doing, Scorpio? How has your August been? How did you cope with the Mercury retrograde? It was retrograde for most of August. I typically don't really have much happen to me around that time. The most I experienced was a couple of minor glitches electronically. Nothing that had a massive impact. I know some of the people around me had constant electronic glitches and glitches with devices. Someone told me that someone from that they hadn't spoken to in almost a couple of decades came back into their life. I've had someone telling me about where they've got into disagreements and their neighbours have gotten into arguments with people because communication can be an issue around this time. But yeah, what was your experience? Did anything happen with you around that time? Feel free to share. But that aside, so I did your pre-reading meditation, should I say, and I saw a ladder at first, and it was just like a ladder going up to like the second floor of a building. And then, so someone was climbing up the ladder, but then as they got up the ladder higher and higher, the ladder kept getting longer and the building kept getting higher as well. And then the phrase, the goalpost keeps on moving, came in. So, as I say, everything just kept getting higher and higher. They had to climb more and more. And then eventually they did get to the top. And by the time they got to the top of this extreme sky high building, the person was absolutely knackered, like they couldn't even pull themselves over to get onto the roof of the building. However, they were then helped to get over onto the roof of this building, and it was like red carpet VIP treatment. Once they were over, like they were helped over, they were then carried in, like it felt like I was seeing I don't even know what you call these things, where, you know, like in films where you have like a king or a queen or something and they put them in that carriage thing and people carry it. Like you'll have one at the front, one at the back, or two at the front, one at the back, carrying them in that kind of thing. And then they were basically being pampered and honoured. The word honoured specifically came in, and they were being pampered up on the roof level of this high building. And that was it basically. So, as I've said, in the other readings, sometimes the meditation is directly connected to what the reading's going to be about. Sometimes it's a completely random message that's nothing to do with the reading, like it might only be for one person, i.e. Leo's reading, I think it was, where just some stuff came in that wasn't really to do with, it didn't seem to be to do with the reading. It looked like it was a message for one person. But yeah, that was yours. So we're going to get into your message now. We're going to start off with a message from the Witch's Wisdom deck. So these are the two that I'll be using for the reading. What does Scorpio need to know? Scorpio Sun, Moon or Rising need to know for September 2024. What does Scorpio Sun, Moon or Rising need to know? There we go, for 2024. You've got Familiar Guardian, one of my favourite cards in the deck. So you're being protected, Scorpio. You're being protected. You're being watched over, whether it feels like it or not. So I'll get the tarot cards out and then we'll look in the book at that. So what else do we need to know for Scorpio Sun, Moon and Rising for September 2024? You've got the Fool there. I think it's about having trust with the Fool coming up like that, but we'll see what else comes out. Right, we also need a couple more. I think that's the goalpost moving, and it's a tower, isn't it? After seeing a tall building. Right, just one more. Right, Page of Pentacles and the Lovers. So just looking at the cards overall. So I think trust, as I said, is a key theme here. there may be a need for someone to start over again with the Tower and the Page of Pentacles being there together like that. In terms of something that you may be pursuing that you love, or that you, a passion project, something that you really care about, something that you really desire, you may have to start again if something falls apart. Or it may just feel like there are constant challenges into reaching your desires with the Tower being there, because I said in my meditation it was like the goalpost keeps moving, or the ladder kept getting higher and higher. So it's almost, this is this what came up in Leo's reading? Leo's reading, was it? Yeah, Leo had a theme of one, 2 steps forward, 1 step back. So it may feel like that for you. But let's see what else comes up. So let's look in the book at that familiar message. I would say that if there are any delays, or if you're feeling like you're having a bit of 2 steps forward, 1 step back experience, there's an element of, it may sound annoying hearing it, an element of protection in there for you, or being guided on the right path. Right, so it says, the Witch's Wisdom says, a familiar has turned up to assure you that you are never alone. For whether your path is an easy one or a struggle right now, you have a very real guardian and helper that is waiting to be called upon through the ether. Once you have asked for assistance in your magical work, use your diligence to be aware of the form that your assistance takes. You may notice a cat hanging around your back door, or you may be greeted by the tapping of a bird on your window. Your guardian may work with you through the form of a spirit animal guide. Look to an animal that you have always felt affinity with. Notice the representation of animals, including mythical and mystical, that you may have within your home through books, paintings, figurines, or prints. For they will reveal to you the familiar who has accompanied you through the mists of time and will never leave your side, not even for a moment. The Witch's Foresight says, do not be afraid to ask for assistance. You have a strong bond with a trusted animal. Call upon your familiar, look for signs in the animals that come into contact with you, study the meanings of different animal medicine energy, help is at hand. And I'll read this last part. Familiar revealed, it says, folklore reveals that supernatural beings called familiars helped and supported witches in their day-to-day lives. Known as animal guides or spirit helpers, they protect and guard their human companions through thick and thin. These spirit guardians can come in many different forms, from 4-legged, winged ones to mythical and magical beings. So, what do you feel is, or who do you feel is your spiritual helper, if you feel that you have one at all? But either way, it's sort of saying ask for assistance, and you have assistance as well, whether you know it or not. So let's get into the clarifiers. So let's start off with the Fool first of all. So we have the Lovers again, the Ace of Swords, we have the Magician, and we have the Chariot in reverse. That would be obviously 1 step, 2 steps forward, 1 step, no, sorry, 1 step forward, 2 steps back. I know I'm saying it like that. Okay, and 2 of Swords after that. Again, it's giving me a feeling more than anything else of needing to trust whatever you are trying to pursue, whatever your desires are, whether it is a person, situation, etc. Have faith and trust, and obviously express that desire for help as well. The Magician is someone that does things on their own. You don't really think of the magician as someone who's in partnership, do you? He's got the skills and the capability to get things done, but with the Chariot being there in reverse, it shows that him alone is not enough to get this done. Let me get one more after that 2 of Swords. Yeah, him on his own, it seems to be not enough, even though he is fully capable of this. So it really may be a case of asking for help, assistance. So you've got the World and the Star next. I'm getting the word disparity. So I don't know if that means that there's disparity in what you want and where you actually are, or in terms of, you know, like when we talk about manifestations and we say like the feeling, well, I don't really go into much about manifestation anyway, but like the feeling of that what you want. I don't know how to explain this now because I don't talk about manifestation that much, about the feeling having to match what you desire or stuff like that. There's some kind of disparity Like maybe your beliefs and what you desire don't match, something to that effect, because there's the Two of Swords can be two truths. I'm going to have to go deeper into the rest of the cards, but the word disparity is coming up. So maybe you don't have enough faith, maybe you don't have enough trust. Maybe it's just simply that you need to ask for assistance. Let's look at that Five of Pentacles. That is a past energy. Let's see. Maybe things haven't worked out in a similar situation in the past, so there is a bit of a lack of faith there, and there's a need for more of that. So Five of Pentacles. So we've got the Ten of Cups, Page of Pentacles, Queen of Swords, Eight of Wands, and the Five of Swords. Let me get something for the Five of Swords. I have a thought on this. That could be the disparity. So Hanged Man. Yeah, there might be a little bit of a lack of faith or belief or some sort of disappointment that is setting things back a little bit. Just bear with me a minute. So I think the main thought here is that it's making me wonder, in the past, did you not get the happiness that you felt you deserved because you either didn't give enough or you didn't express clearly enough what you wanted? That is a thought that's come into mind, that maybe you weren't honest enough about what your needs were, what your desires were. Okay. That's the main thing I'm getting from this so far. Okay, yeah. That's about it for now. Let's see what the other cards say. Can be fears of getting hurt as well, where people don't fully express what they want because they feel like it's not going to work out. They're going to get hurt. Let's see what else comes up. And you know that saying about rejection is protection? That comes to mind too. Okay. I think, let me say it because it's coming up. You know, like if you were dating someone and you were dating someone kind of casually, very, very casually for years and years and years, and you actually really did want something more, but you were never assertive enough with them about what you wanted. And maybe even if they were being ambiguous, you sort of never really pushed or set hard enough boundaries for that person to be upfront about what they wanted and to do and to commit or whatever it is that you wanted from the situation. So you kind of just stuck with it and just went with the flow and went with whatever they wanted. So you were never happy with them, and it kind of robbed you of your chances from being happy with other people as well, because you were stuck with them. In that situation, it blocks your other opportunities, doesn't it? But you may have not been honest because you may have already known that they were never gonna really give 100%. And it's almost like better the devil you know, isn't it? You stick with something even though it's half-assed from them, because you'd rather have that than to risk pushing for more and then you push them away completely. But that blocks your other opportunities too. So that's a past energy. And it doesn't have to be relationships, it could be anything, to be honest, but that was just a thought that came to mind. Let's look at the Ace of Cups. Okay, Ace of Cups as a challenge. So with the Ace of Cups being a challenge, it can be where you haven't expressed enough. You haven't expressed fully, you know, like if you fully express what you want, what your desires are, how you feel. Let's see what else comes up here. We've got, yeah, fear of getting hurt with the Three of Swords. Can be fear of getting hurt. Fear of getting hurt. Four of Pentacles next to the Three of Swords is protecting your heart, isn't it? Or trying to protect your heart, protect your feelings. And notice how he's holding that in front of the mainly in front of the heart chakra. It is going to a bit to the would it be the sacral? I'm not even going to guess without looking in the book, but definitely covering the heart chakra. Solar plexus, sorry, it's the solar plexus, not the sacral. The sacrals are down there, but he's mainly covering the heart chakra, so protecting the heart. We have the Two of Wands, so there's a choice to the challenge, there's a choice to open up and express what you want fully, but will you do that? So we have the Seven of Wands. I don't know if that was reversed or not, but I feel like I'm going to put it there reversed. It was, well, sorry, on the floor it was reversed, but I don't know how originally, what it was meant to be. And we have the Three of Wands. So it's like the choice is there to protect your heart through fear of getting hurt, or to let the guards down, let your guard down, and be fully open to what it is you desire, to what you want, not letting the fears scare you off, I suppose. Let's look at the external influences. So as I said, it doesn't have to be a relationship. It could be anything in life that you just strongly desire, but you may have settled in the past. You may not. As I say, there's a need for more faith and trust. So looking at the Tower as an external factor, I think it kind of feels like a fear of things falling apart, to be honest, but let's see what comes to mind. Like not being in your control, things not being in your control. We've got the Seven of Swords there, yeah. That it's like, you know, where you feel like, oh, I don't know if I should do this because I feel like the universe might trick me into doing it and it'll turn out to be bullshit. It's that kind of vibe. Or you may feel like you've already been tricked if something has literally fallen apart. I can definitely relate to that in certain situations where I feel like, why did you even let me get into this? Obviously it was my choice, but you know, and you're upset and you're like, how could you let me do this? What was the point of getting me into this? And then it's completely just a wreck now. So we have the Eight of Cups, Nine of Pentacles, Judgment card, and the Eight of Swords. I really think it's about trust, a sense of trust. And it's not just trust in it is trust in the situation or another person, but it's also how much do you trust yourself as well? Because obviously, if you go through a lot of experiences where it feels like you've made a bad decision, we've got Judgment there, and you repeat a lot of mistakes or repeat the same mistake or something, you can, you know, like say, feel like I've said this to someone before. It may have been in your one of your readings or someone else's. You know, if you'd kept on choosing partners and you chose people that were terrible, or the relationship always went to shit, you can end up feeling like, God, what's wrong with me? Why can't I choose a decent person? I'll just stay single forever because I feel like I can't even choose a decent partner now. Like, you can't trust yourself anymore. You no longer trust yourself. You don't trust yourself to make good decisions, to choose good people. There's an external influence there where that things falling apart can end up making you feel, or cause you to feel that way, to not trust that things can work out. But as I keep saying in all of the readings, there's never any guarantee. Obviously, initially, you can do your best to pick up on the green flags, the red flags, etc. in any situation, whether it is relationships or not. But until you're in the situation, you can't know 100% what's going to happen or how it's going to turn out. All you can do is judge it as well as you can from the beginning. Then when you get in it, take it as it comes, be open to it, deal with it, and then whatever happens, happens. So I think that's where we are here. That Tower feels more like a fear of things falling apart and not being in control. But it may be that something has already happened. You may have already experienced some sort of deception and things falling apart and having to move on. But it looks like it's affected your sense of trust and possibly your sense of being able to make good judgments. So let's look at the Page of Pentacles and the Lovers. Yeah, Page of Pentacles and the Lovers. So that is what you need to be more aware of. Well, the first thing I would say is, yeah, the Strength card is there. It's being willing to give things a try. And being aware if you are holding back from that, I think, is a key point here as well. Or why you're holding back from that, if you are holding back from giving things a try that you really desire. Whatever situation we go into, as mature as we may be, as much life experience as we have, again, we can't guarantee how it's going to turn out. We can't go in there thinking we know everything. Nobody knows everything, no matter how knowledgeable and wise you are. We can still end up being vulnerable and end up getting hurt and etc. But we can also go into situations and things can work out fantastically, can't they? But any new thing we're going into it a little bit with a bit of a beginner mindset, because it's a new experience. You can't go in all wise, all knowing. So what else do we need to know here? Got the Four of Cups. Someone starting a new relationship and concerned about how things are going to turn out, because that is a possibility here. Right, so we have the Four of Cups. So there's the need for the courage to give things a go. And this keeps on coming up. I think it started with Cancer's reading, which was the very first reading I recorded for the month. And the key point with this was someone feeling like, don't offer me bullshit, which is fair. None of us want to be offered bullshit. And again, there's that concept of, I know I keep saying relationships because that's coming up strongly. It doesn't have to be that, but I'll say it again as an example. It's that thing of going into something new and being concerned if you're going to be offered bullshit or if you're going to get honesty and what you're seeing is real. Like, can you believe what you're seeing? Can you believe what you're told? Is it right? Is it honorable? I think all you can do is give. You can be fair. You can be honest. That's how you need to go into the situation, and hopefully you'll get that back. If you don't, you set the boundary. Either set the boundary and you resolve the issue, or the other person can't meet you halfway and you cut them out, basically. And I think maybe that's another point here of what you need to be more aware of with that Page of Pentacles, especially in relationships, is going in only being willing to give a teeny tiny little bit because of the fear of being hurt. It can't work like that. If you're going in only giving a little bit and being a bit half-assed through fear of getting hurt, why should the other person give you 100%? You know, it's not fair. So as I say, it's a case of going in, giving, being as fair and equal as possible, and honest as honest and honest and honorable as possible, and see what happens. Take it from there. So let's look at the potential future with this. And trust that with that King of Swords as well, trust that you have the ability to judge as you go whether something's good or not. As I say, you can't know straight up. I mean, unless there's huge red flags, which does happen sometimes, unless there's enormous huge red flags being waved in your face, you cannot be sure until you've been through the experience. But trust that your judgment, or you can learn to develop your judgment well enough that as things progress, you'll figure out if it's right or not, or if you're getting what you deserve. So let's look at the potential future energies here. So we have the Ten of Pentacles as a future energy, and let's look at the guidance for you. King of Cups, trust yourself. Trust that you have the capacity to understand what's going on, and trust how you feel as well. And that's a Scorpio card as well, the King of Cups. So let's do the Ten of Pentacles. Yeah. Two of Pentacles. Okay, yeah, there's a lot of assessment here. So let's do Two of Pentacles, Six of Cups, Hierophant, Seven of Pentacles, Eight of Pentacles. So there's work to be done here, and there's lessons to be learned from the past, from the current situation, of whether it's right for you and it's good or not. There's a thing about commitment here as well. So again, it could be relationship related or something as well. But there's a sense of judging, so there's two cards of doing what needs to be done. So being practically in the situation, with the Two of Pentacles and the Eight of Pentacles, putting in the effort and deciding if it's worth it with the Seven of Pentacles. Is it worth committing to? Am I receiving the commitment I want out of this situation as well? And kind of integrating the what you've experienced from the past and the present, taking past lessons into the present to assess how things are working as well. So that's a future energy. That's what you're going to be doing. I think it's overall assessing if it's worth committing to, if it has that longevity that you wanting. And then with the King of Cups as your guidance. But as I say, it's about being in the situation and giving what's necessary to put in the effort in, not being half-assed about it and expecting 100% back. King of Cups. Tower. That's that fear of things falling apart and the need to be in control again. Yeah, okay. I was kind of mentally asking the Queen if the Queen of Cups is... Actually, no. The Ten of Swords needs to be next. Yeah, it's the fear of things falling apart. Ten of Cups, Page of Wands, one more. Yeah, I think it's already telling me what I already know. Yeah, it's the same thing. It's the concerns about needing to be in control and fear of things falling apart. Whatever situation you're getting into, where it's something that you really desire and you want, allow yourself to feel your feelings fully. Allow yourself to explore fully, and don't focus on the possibility of things going to shit. Don't assume it's going to go to shit. Know that you can cope with it if it goes to shit, but don't automatically think, oh, it's going to just not work out and I'm going to get hurt again and it's going to drain me again or whatever. Go in, give 100% and deal with things as they come, basically. So let's get you a final oracle card from the Unicorns, Strange Unicorns deck with the amazing artwork. So final message for Scorpio, Sun, Moon and Rising for... See, we've lost the candle at the end of the reading. September. Final advice for Scorpio. Perspective. Not a seahorse, perspective. Let's see what the other cards are. So I don't know if you can see that. So yeah, it's about changing your perspective or managing your perspective, assessing your perspective. I'll show you the other ones. I'm not going to take... Oh, okay. I think I will take them, to be honest. So we've got Not an Angel, Divinity. That is a beautiful card. And we also have Not a Flower, Vulnerability. So there's probably a need to be a little bit more vulnerable here. So let's look at all of these. Is it clear? Yep, kind of. Let's move them down a bit. So I'll start off with that, and that's an 8 as well. That is the Scorpio is 8 in the zodiac. Yep, 8 in the zodiac. So let's look at that one first. So it says, the transformation part says, imagine a tiny seahorse floating along among bubbles and brine, coral and fish, a dream and a wish, an aquatic paradise. The beautiful ocean, the blue, the bright, the seaweed dancing in shafts of light. It is inspiring, it is whimsical, it is uplifting and fun. But amid all this, look more closely, for the transformation has just begun. Is that a tiny horn? A voice rings out amid the cool blue deep. If it is magic you seek, then look more closely. I am not just any seahorse, but a seahorse unicorn. The meditation says, feel yourself floating in the sea of vision with the seahorse unicorn. Ask the seahorse to show you new facets and perspectives in a situation in your life. Float along the waves and consider the many angles. The affirmation, my perspective is positive and bright, always seeking beauty in times of darkness and light. And the action says, artwork can be interpreted in so many ways. Take yourself to an art gallery and admire the many paintings, sculptures and works of art. Look closely, then look again. See how your perspective shapes your reality. Be mindful. Yep, so there's the perspectives. If you kind of go into things feeling like, oh, I'm going to get hurt, or fearing getting hurt and thinking, oh, well, I'm only going to give a little bit because I'll probably get hurt anyway, then it's probably going to be shit anyway, to be frank. So let's look at that. We'll look at the vulnerability card first of all. So transformation, you arrive in a spring meadow with colour bursting forth from the ground. But look more closely at this tiny shivering blossom, for it is no small feat. It is a miracle of rejuvenation and new life though delicate and vulnerable, opening its petals one by one to see the sun. Gaze upon the face of the magical unicorn flower, a rare blossom indeed. The meditation: imagine you are a tiny bee visiting the unicorn flower. Pollinate and rejuvenate. The entire world depends on you. Though small and vulnerable, feel the power that lies within. The affirmation says there is strength in vulnerability. I love that saying. There is strength in vulnerability. There is great power in the smallest of things. The action says enjoy the beauty and grace of some flowers in the wilderness. If it is winter time, head to a local florist or nursery. Enjoy the stunning yet fragile balance of colour, shape and scent. The same power lies within you, oh dear one. And I think another thing I was going to say just before I get to that last card is that meditation I had with climbing up the ladder. You may feel like you've had a long, hard slog to get to what you want, and like it just feels like it's never ending. And I absolutely get that. There are things in my life as well where I'm just like, is it ever going to just feel settled or peaceful or calm? And it just feels like Groundhog Day, never ending struggle. All you can do is keep going and have hope and give your best in whatever situations you get into and try and make the most of it. And if it doesn't work, then deal with that when it comes. But let's look at this divinity card. So it says, divinity not an angel. The transformation says a mystery within a mystery. As you pray to your guardian angel, it's back, guardian angel, at night before bedtime, an unexpected added miracle may appear. An additional blessing sent from heaven above. This is not just an angel, but an unexpected yet welcome guest indeed, worthy of praise and coming at the right time to enrich your life and fulfill all your dreams. It is the angel unicorn of protection, life, and divinity. Meditation. Ask your guardian angel to visit you. As your angel approaches, suddenly the unicorn angel also appears, who beckons you to climb on her back and take flight. Higher and higher you fly, traversing into the realm of the divine. At your highest peak, you hear the message of the divine. Open your heart to the message to receive your message. Affirmation: I am in the presence of the divine. My angel is always near. Your guardian's always near. It said it in there as well. And the action says, say a prayer to your angel, enter a quiet space, ask to receive the message of the divine. Now open up a journal and channel your message. Feel the protection and guidance of divine presence at work in your life. So have faith, have trust, have hope. I'll leave it there. Thank you very much for watching, Scorpio. I hope it was helpful to you. I hope that September is great for you. Have a great week. Have a great day. Take care.